What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Riding the Wave with your host, AYD,
MJ in the house,
and our special guests,
Mo, Kayla, Laurel.
Glad for you guys to be here. We appreciate you guys to be here. Any shout outs?
Yeah, I want to do a shout out to Laurel. I said it right? She just bought a new house, so we
Congrats.
Just want to congratulate her, you know, coming out from the hood and going back to the coming from the hood. And
We all have a little hood in us.
But but all seriousness, I just want to congratulate you on being a homeowner. That's a quite an accomplishment. So
Yes.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
And to you, Kayla.
Yes, congratulations.
Kayla, do you have your own room?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Next time.
Well, it's because she got all these kids. She got no time for a room.
There you go.
She better make herself like a little tent outside or something.
That part.
But all right, how about
I want to make a shout out to my two boys, Nolan and Nathan. Congratulations for graduating. They graduated high school. On to the next chapter of their life.
Congrats.
So congratulations to them, and also a shout out to Juliana for standing up for her friends to a bully. You know, so that's awesome. Stick up for your friends always.
Yes. Anything for you, Mo? You want to do a shout out to anybody?
So obviously I am a returning guest, and I wanted to thank Laurel for her positive words that she shared on the podcast, just that I did such a great job. And then my friend Daisy, I just want to say thank you, just because I used to have my own podcast, and just getting input from other women, it's just uplifting and empowering. And I think that that's what us women need to do. Stick
Girl
together.
power.
Yes,
Girl power.
for real.
All right. So today's
So
topic.
with the shout outs being done and out of the way, first I want to say cheers.
Clink, clink, clink.
Cheers. We got a cheers. Cheers to all you guys.
Cheers.
Thank you for coming. Kayla, thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Kayla, for coming. Thank you for coming.
She's drinking lemonade, guys, and we're drinking water.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
We're just trying
water.
to stay hydrated.
So today
I'm actually drinking Kool-Aid.
He is. Today's topic is going to be father-daughter dynamic with Kayla. And again, Kayla, you know, we just wanted to say thank you. It's very brave of you to come on here and share your feelings and express your feelings and share, you know, what you have been through. We greatly appreciate it, and share what you want. You know, don't feel any pressure to. If you feel like you can't answer a question, that's all right. No worries.
Yeah,
All right,
thank you
so-
for having me.
Yes, definitely. So let's dive right in. Kayla, tell us a little bit about yourself, like some hobbies, what do you like to do?
Who is Kayla?
Hi, my name is Kayla. I'm 15 years old. I'm a freshman in high school. Just a normal teenager. I like hanging out with my friends. Most of the time I'm home with my siblings, you know, with my little siblings, playing with them, with my little sister.
How
Even
many
though she's a
siblings do you
brat.
have? You don't mind me asking.
I have 4 siblings.
Four siblings.
All right.
So wait, so are you the big sister, middle?
Yes, I'm the oldest.
Oh, okay. How do you feel being the oldest?
Numero uno.
I like it. It has its benefits, but sometimes it
Could be a
it's
little
lot.
much.
Yeah.
So my question, I'll kick off the first question.
Go for it, MJ. Go for it.
So what made you want to come onto the podcast and share your story with everybody?
Well, I think it's a very important topic, you know, and also this is a new opportunity for me being on your podcast. I'd love to help out with you guys, and I want my friends to hear this, to see you guys, to discover you guys, and I also want to just let out my feelings, what I think about this topic, and my experience about it.
Awesome. And thank you. We appreciate it. So everybody tune in. All of her friends need to tune in. Just saying. I know she has a lot of friends, so I'm going to see a lot of more subscribers.
You're all popular.
There you
She's
go.
gonna be that girl on the podcast.
Right?
Get it, girl.
And to Mom, what were your thoughts? Her coming onto the podcast. I mean, obviously you were for it, but did you have any just concerns, like any doubts about this or anything like that?
No, I mean, like kind of like what she was saying. I think it's a good opportunity just to kind of have her say her piece. And I was actually curious too to see if maybe there was things she had to share that I wasn't even aware of. So I'm excited to hear what she has to say.
All right, so let's dive right in.
Let's go.
Let's do this.
My first question to you is how do you think you and your sister were affected by not having a father present in your life?
I would say for me and my sister, I don't think it affected us as much as, maybe other people and their experiences. I know people have a lot of stories and there's like a lot to this topic, but for my case, I think it's just like the missed memories me and my dad could have made, the bond that we could have had or that we did have and that got lost along the way.
So, Mom, quick question. How old were you when you had your daughter?
When I got pregnant with Kayla, I was 16, and when she was born, I was 17.
We got another 16 and pregnant in the house.
Yeah.
Season 2 over here. This is
Oh,
season
geez.
2. We have season
The
1
real
and season 2.
It is what it is.
I'm gonna have to come back.
Any questions?
Me, obviously, as a young teen mom myself, and this is more for mom. Being 16, I was 15. Obviously, nowhere in our mind does it cross like we're not going to be with dad. So, when do you remember dad stepping out of the picture or slowly drifting away from having a relationship with his daughters?
Looking back on it, because they say hindsight's 2020. I think some way mid through my pregnancy, I had an inkling that this just wasn't gonna be for him at the time because there's a lot of backstory of his situation, my situation. But I think the difference is that I saw it as a way of like, man, I need to grow up because this is serious. I'm bringing another human being into the world. Even though I'm a kid, I gave up my childhood the minute that I started doing grown up shit, And I think for him, it kind of stifled him in a way. And so he retreated. Whereas me, I think I was just a little bit more self aware to the fact that I got to step my game up and do what I got to do for the life that I'm bringing into this world. And I think that even though I was a little bit in denial, I think I already knew that it was just gonna be me, and if he was involved, it was gonna not be the way that I wanted it or envisioned it at the time. My fairy tale of being
Right.
16 and in love and like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be the person I'm gonna be with forever and my husband, and
Yeah.
even though at the time that's what I wanted, reality set in real quick, and I just knew that it wasn't gonna go that way.
Right.
So again, when do you remember like dad not being present in her life? Like, is there moments? Is there gaps? Is there years? Like,
I think the first time that it really set in and became a reality to me was when I was going into labor. So that day, the doctor was like, okay, you're going to go in, you're going to be induced, go to the hospital, meet me there. I'm like, cool. So I let her dad know, like, hey, we're going in, going to have the baby. And his sister showed up and basically had to find him, and he was drunk and couldn't function, couldn't talk. I mean, he seemed excited, but at the time when I needed somebody, especially my partner at the time, to be there for me, even though again we were both kids, but not an excuse. I think there was a little part in me that was like, you know what, I'm in this on my own, and I don't even know if he's gonna be there for our child. So
Right.
that was kind of like the first part. Obviously, there's other things along the way through the years but that was the first real moment where it actually set in and became real.
Okay. So we got a little bit of the background. Kayla, how old were you when you started really recognizing that your father wasn't around? From what you can remember.
From what I can remember, I think it was around the age of like maybe 6 or 7. Because around that time, that's when my mom had introduced me to my stepdad, and we moved in with him. And then when I would do my weekend visits with my dad, that sometimes he was just inconsistent, like we would show up, wait for him, and then sometimes he wouldn't end up showing up. And then that's when I started realizing like what's happening with my dad.
And like, how did that make you feel? Like at 6, 7 years old, excited. I'm assuming you were excited to see your dad. And then you're waiting for him, and then he doesn't show up.
At the time, it made me feel really sad. And I think for my sister, she didn't understand. She was really young at the time, but I think seeing me being so affected, and then me and her, like her trying to comfort me, and then her realizing too, I think she got emotional too. And I think for the both of us, we were just like sad.
Did it like, did you carry on any anger as like a young kid? Like you had like anger because he wasn't around. Like maybe you would see other kids at school with their dads or whatever. Like did that ever cross your mind? Or
No, not anger as much as it was like disappointment or like
hurt?
Yeah, hurt.
And your little sister, what's the age difference between you and her?
We're 3 years apart.
So what challenges have you and your sister faced without your dad being present in your life?
I think it's not so much like challenges, more as it is just like the feeling of like something missing. Our bond that we had with our dad, like slowly drifted away, and us being so young at the time, I have very few memories, and I'm sure even her very or less memories than I have. And I think it's just that feeling of like, man, like, well, what was happening at the time?
Right.
Let's kind of, I feel like it's like a down topic, but what would you say is the best memory that you can say that you shared with your dad that's something that sticks with you till this day? If you have any. I'm trying over here.
Yeah, I have one. One time he took me and my sister to the park. We walked there, but before we got to the park, there was a 7-Eleven, and he let us pick out 3 snacks. So my sister got some, I got some, and then we walked to the park.
All right, we got to know what kind of snacks you got there. You can't leave the snacks out. You have to know what snacks.
Well, I only remember one of the snacks I got, and it was bubble gum. And I don't remember what my sister got either. When we walked to the park, we sat down, and it was like a little duck park, so there were ducks everywhere. And we sat down.
Try to eat all your gum or what?
Yes.
I was just messing around on that one.
So we were at the duck park. We were sitting next to where all the ducks were, and we were looking, we were talking. We were sitting at a picnic table, and he asked me if I knew how to blow a bubble with my gum. I told him no. So he grabbed a big piece of my gum, like almost half of it, and he put it in his mouth, and he was chewing so much. And he tried blowing a bubble, and he couldn't, and we were laughing. He was laughing so much that he started choking, and he spit out the bubble gum, and there was a family nearby, and with a little girl, and the dad and her little girl were sitting looking at us, and the little girl went, ew, so loudly.
Put him on blast. Put him on Front Street.
And I just want to say this to all the absent parents out there. This little memory that she just shared, okay, to her, it's a big thing. To you, it may not mean anything, but to this little girl, it meant a lot. So just know that your absence really does take a toll. And the smallest little thing of going to the park, buying 3 snacks, and blowing a bubble gum, this girl's smile was like saying
From
it all.
ear to ear.
So I think this is something that a lot of parents, because I'm sure that people are out here listening, you're an absent parent, possibly or you know an absent parent. And these are conversations that we need to have with one another and hold each other accountable, where it's like, hey, bro, friend, step up.
All right, agreed.
You brought a child into this world. Now you need to go take care of your business, because this child should not be affected by, your consequences, your mistakes, your actions, whatever it may be. And this is something that I want you to know, Kayla, that I was 15 when I had my son. Your mom was 16. You're 15, right?
Mhm.
Can you imagine yourself having a kid?
No, I can't.
Exactly.
Great.
So, one, round of applause to you, Laurel,
Yes.
for
I thought we were doing
no
Right,
to
real.
you, because it's like she's still here, okay? Very well spoken, in your care. You have 4 other children. You just bought a house. Like, girl,
Amazing.
yes, you deserve it.
Okay, here we go. Here
But
comes the
this
waterworks.
But this is where we need to support one another and remind each other, look, we may have been in one dark place, but look at the light shining, girl, and it's shining bright for you and your family. And
Yes.
you've come a long way.
Yes.
Have you noticed being at school, like some of your friends, close friends, are there some parents around, or have you noticed some parents that are kind of, or some students in your same situation as you are, not having a parent there or at school, like, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, I've definitely shared some experiences with some of my friends and some other people around, just talking. There's a lot of, unfortunately, a lot of kids my age at my school, in my community, who share some of the same experience with an absent parent, or are struggling somewhat with a situation like that.
And like, what is, like, from what you see, what is it, like, not to put their business on blast without naming names, but like, what is it that you see that they're struggling with?
Well, for many of their cases, their dad or their parent won't make the effort. My dad, I can say, has made somewhat of an effort throughout the years. Inconsistent, but he's tried, and I appreciate that. I do, and I see it, and I recognize that. But for them, in their case, I feel like a lot of times their absent parent won't even make the effort.
All right. Is it easy for you and your friends to talk about like what's going on, or do you feel that everybody kind of keeps to themselves and don't like talking about it?
I feel like because we do a lot of icebreakers in my classes. So when it comes down to it, if I have a good conversation with someone, then once we start talking more and we start getting to that point where we can start talking about the deep stuff, then I feel like that's when they come out and then they'll share their experience.
So what's the icebreaker? What's
Yes,
that?
I
I
wanna
was
know
kind of
about that.
curious
Yeah,
about that.
same. That was my next question.
I never heard
He
that.
jumped in front of me and asked it first.
Wait,
What's the icebreaker?
Yeah, give us an example of
Because you mentioned at school you do icebreakers. What
Yeah.
is that? I've never heard of that.
well, some icebreakers are like a way of introducing yourself to someone else. So it could be like something as simple as what's your favorite color, like that. But what I meant was, once we do icebreakers and I get to know that person, once we start having those deep conversations is when I think we can open up, and then we start sharing our experiences.
So the icebreaker, is it something that you do, or is it something that the school implements
Right.
or asks of you, like, hey, we're going to have an icebreaker moment? Or are you just using the word icebreaker, like you amongst friends are having, like, you're breaking ice or you're chipping away at each other?
No, our school definitely influences.
Oh, wow.
our
That's
icebreakers.
awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
They have that in every class.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
yeah.
that's really cool. I
What
really
school
like
is
that.
this?
No, for
Yeah, that's
real.
cool.
Shout out to that school.
Oh, definitely, because it allows the kids to
Yeah.
actually talk and meet one another and create friends.
And then, like, a lot of kids that do that, do a lot of them engage, or it kind of takes a minute for them to, like, I think it takes that one or two people to kind of
right.
Yeah,
get
it
everybody
definitely takes-
encouraged. And so what is like one, not what memory, but what is one quality that you love about your dad? What is something that you kind of seen him that you're you notice he's just like, I don't know, like a really good person? Is he, like, what is some characteristic that you're drawn to him?
He's really funny. Like what I do remember about him and all our memories, he's always making me laugh and smile. You know, he's very affectionate towards me, and I know that like our bond has been lost along the way, but I can always say that he does love me. I do know that.
I love that.
Yeah, I
Yes,
love that too.
definitely,
I
definitely,
I
yes.
love that that's an impression that he leaves you with, at least, is that you know that he loves you. Because I don't think a lot of other kids feel that same, way when somebody's not, present in their life or showing up for them. So for him to leave you with that, I think that's amazing.
Yeah, because honestly, I've known your dad my whole life, ever since you were born. Um, if anything, sometimes I feel like I had somewhat to do with his struggles because when I gave him his first beer for his birthday. Um, and we also did some other stuff that we shouldn't have done, and I exposed him to that. So I at times I do not say take blame, but I kind of feel like I was part of the reason in a sense because I did expose him to that. And yeah, you're like, I know your dad, like he's not a bad guy. It's like it's just he just struggles with that addiction. And
Yeah.
As a, yeah, as a lot
and
of
I just
people.
want you to know, like, that addiction it's like it's real and it's hard to break out of. And I really do think now, or not even think, I know now that he's really turned over like a new leaf, and I know he has a lot to make up for. Um, like, do you have any resentment towards him, or
I don't.
how about your sister?
I can't speak for her, but I don't think that she does. I think what we both really want is just that connection again. If it does happen, I think that would be really good for both of us. And I think it would be good for him too.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
I would say like every kid and parent need their kids that love. That love is that's what we all need, like in our lives. It's our bond and our love towards each other.
Yes, definitely.
So I mean,
Definitely.
I really hope once he hears this and he's able to really think about everything and be consistent, you guys could have. I mean, when's the last time you guys talked?
It hasn't been a while ago. I don't know exactly when, but I would say in the past like 2 months. 2 months, yeah.
Okay. And
Has it always been hard for you to express your feelings or what was going on, or at 6 years old, like who was your go to when you wanted to express your feelings about your father?
yeah, Pasha.
Mm,
Or was it even something that crossed your mind where you felt, because again, we're talking about a 6-year-old kid, maybe you don't know in that moment that my father's absent or he's not present. So maybe not at 6, but where throughout your life do you feel that you you said missing, like a missing piece? So where did you feel like something's missing? I wish I had a little bit more of a relationship either with him, his family, or I don't know. I don't know. I also didn't have a dad growing up, so I needed a lot of stuff.
Daddy issues?
Yeah, major,
Did you have them?
major. But I think it hits us all differently. So 6 years old, maybe not 6. Like, do you ever remember a time where you're like, I really wish I had my dad right
I definitely say in these past few years, it made me think a lot more because now I understand way more. And I think in these past few years, like I've come to realize that he's tried, that he's tried as long as he's trying, which he has, he's texted me, you know, and even if it's not consistent, I I see him again. I do see him making that effort, and I really do appreciate because again, I see a lot of other people who are sort of in the same situation, but their absent parent are not making the effort.
And like with your, because you said you had a stepdad. What is that like? Your stepdad? How's your relationship with him? Has that not replaced, but has that kind of helped you along the way compared to not having like?
In those moments where, like, sorry, mommy, but in those moments where my mom is not my best friend at the moment, definitely he can either take my side or be there and be like, I know, I'll talk to her, I'll calm her down in that situation like that. But yeah.
Do you like? Because I had we had a stepdad, and but it was, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little awkward calling him dad.
Okay.
Yeah, right. It's
Why?
a little awkward, right?
No.
Was it a little awkward?
No, not for me.
Okay. Well,
Nope.
at least for me and my
Yeah,
sister,
I mean,
because
everybody's different.
we didn't really call our stepdad dad.
Mhm.
We call him Buddy. Do you call him dad, or you just call him by his first name?
Yeah, I call him dad. When I was little, I asked him what he wanted me to call him, and he told me I could call him whatever. And then once I created a bond with him, I called him dad. At first, it was weird, you know, like I felt like it was replacing, but it's really not because I love my stepdad and I love my dad. They can never replace each other. Both of them are in my life, and I love both of them equally, no matter what.
No, and that's cool because having like two fathers or two mothers, I know stepmom, stepdad, like just having two extra parents in your life, like I mean, I know
Yeah.
some parents may feel like, well, that I'm your mom and I'm your dad, and it's like that's not the point. It's like if that person is loving your child, like if that's your own, then like
Yes.
that's a win. Like, and I think sometimes we as parents let our emotions get in our way of the bigger picture because it's not about us. It's about them and how they're being treated, how they're being loved. So, and hats off
Agreed.
to your husband. Like I really commend him.
His name's Gonzalo.
I,
Louis
Go ahead, say it,
Gonzalo.
James. What's
Gonzigo.
his name? Gonzigo.
Gonzigo. Nah, man, just hats off to you, man, for stepping up because not a lot of men who would take on responsibility
Yeah.
of being with a
Well,
woman
hats
that
off
has
to all the stepdads.
yeah with two kids. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
You're a better man. You're a way better man than me. But no, like seriously, like all seriousness, like just that's great, man. You're doing an amazing job. You're amazing. That's to me, that's a man right there.
Yeah.
Is taking on that responsibility when he didn't
Yes.
have to.
And not only that, again, as much as we want to give him credit, I do need to again throw it back to Laurel, where you chose the right person to come into your
You
life
are good.
and be a model for your girls. And I'm about to be 40. You're younger than me. I was married. When I went into my marriage, I had a child prior to this, and nowhere did I ever think I'm going into this marriage because I'm looking for a man who's going to be a model to my child. So the fact that you chose this man and he's been a substitute father for both your girls, and then you guys are 10 years married. Oh, okay, girl, I'm already aging you guys. 10 years. Okay. 7 years. And you guys have additional kids together and you guys just bought a house. Like, again, people, we need to make better choices in our life. Like, we can only use excuses for so long as to our upbringing, what happened to us, what didn't happen to us, what we
That part.
knew, what we didn't know. Like, at one point or another, we know better. So when you know better, we what? Exactly. So I'm just gonna bow down to you, girl.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, James.
So to mom, I noticed you've never really kept dad away from your daughters. And my question is, I was wondering why. As parents, sometimes when we see our kids being hurt by another parent, especially emotionally, I can imagine there's resentment. There's like, okay, you're obviously showing me you're not stable, so I'm not gonna allow you to keep on hurting, our kids. But you didn't go that route. Why did you not go that route?
That's not necessarily true. Because there was at one point in time when Kayla was about 7, 8, I would say, where it was just getting to the point of we always had a meetup spot. I didn't trust him enough to know where I lived, so we had a designated mutual meetup spot where we would do an exchange. And after a while, there would be times like Kayla mentioned where we would have something scheduled. I would go, I would wait. There was times where I would either miss work or be super late to work because I was calling and he didn't show up. Excuses.
And like, where do you think he was at?
To be honest, at that time, I think maybe he was in another relationship and his priorities just weren't there. But during that time, I did make the decision to just be like, you know what, like my kids keep getting hurt, and I made it a point in time. I learned from my mom that because I kind of had the same situation with my dad growing up, where he would always be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna pick you guys up, me and my brothers and sisters," and I was the oldest, so I was in Kayla's position where I felt like I had to protect my younger sister and brother. If my dad didn't show up, I had to be the one to like tell them like, "It's okay, dad still cares, he's gonna come." But at a certain point in time, even when you're a kid, you realize this is not it. So I seen the same cycle repeating with my kids, and I was just at one point was like, you know what? I'm tired of being lenient. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to subject my kids to this. So there was a short span of time where I told him, no, you're not going to see them anymore. But again, I didn't want to be the reason or the wedge that came between them and their dad, because I think Mo at one point in time had told me, like every little girl needs their dad. So I always had that in the back of my head, like, you know what? I'm just going to let them, if that's what they want, I'm still going to allow them to see their dad, because someday they're going to get older and they're going to form their own opinion. So it's not going to be on me. They're going to grow up and realize, hey, actions speak louder than words.
Right.
So they'll grow up and realize that.
Right. How do you feel seeing Kayla expressing herself, and like what are you feeling? What are your thoughts?
I'm proud of her. She's quiet most of the time. She has a very quiet nature about her, but I always tell people when she really opens up and she expresses herself, she's so eloquent with her words. And I think for a little girl, even though I know she's not a little girl anymore, for a little girl at 15, it's really hard and it's rare to see those traits. So as a mom, I'm more proud than I could ever express in words.
That's awesome.
No, and I think we all are like really impressed.
Yes, we are impressed. Come on, guys, we got to step it up. They do say girls develop faster.
Definitely.
Let's step it up, guys. Come on.
So like when Kayla, when when your mom introduced Gonzalo to
Gonzalo.
Gonzalo.
Gonzalo, I know your name. Don't worry, I
We'll call
got
him
you.
G.
I'm doing this all day.
All right.
I got plenty up my sleeve, let you know. But when your mom introduced him for the first time, what was your initial impression? And was this the first time your mom introduced you to a guy?
Yes, this was that my first impression of him. I did not like him
Why?
because I didn't want her to be with anyone else at the time.
Understandable.
Because I just knew my dad. That's it. I didn't know. Well, I knew family members, but other than that, there was no other man in my life but my dad and like my uncles or my cousins, just family.
Mhm.
So I did not like him at the time. And my mom actually lied to me and told me it was her friend, but I knew.
And she says he's just a friend.
And how old were you when she introduced them to you?
5? I was 5.
Oh wow,
Right.
so you were like a baby still.
Mm.
Wow,
Five.
That's,
You still remember? You remember that?
Yeah, I
See?
remember that.
So back to my question. At 6 years old, no, I'm just kidding. No, that's amazing. You have a great memory.
And at what point did you start getting more comfortable? When do you remember when you called him dad? Like, do you remember how old you were? And you calling him dad, did that kind of spark or influence your little sister start calling him dad?
Bella definitely has a mind of her own, but I think I influence a lot of what she does. So I called my stepdad dad from the start, and I think she seen that and she kind of followed along on that.
Mm-hmm.
So
And does she still call him dad?
yeah, she does.
And so, Mom, what is it now that you want from not want, but what is it that you're that you
What would you like? Yeah.
What would you like from him?
I think before initially, like when it was very fresh, when we first ended our relationship together, I had a lot of anger towards him just because I envisioned a life for myself, for my children, for us. And then when that all went away, I was just like, well, now I'm just a now I'm just a young girl with 2 kids, single, you know.
I'm curious, and this is not. I'm just trying to understand you. And I know you were really young when this happened, but if you knew when you were 16 and you gave birth to Kayla, he wasn't going to be around, why would you have another kid with him, kind of knowing that he had some progress to work on?
I think it's the age old. I was young, dumb, and I mean, at the time, I was in love with him. I was very much so. I think when the expression when people say like love is blind, I knew, but I just chose not to see. So I led with my heart and just kind of told my mind, shut the fuck up. This is what I want. So I'm just gonna ignore everything else, and this is who I want. This is the family I want. So I'm just gonna push through. But again, there was something inside me that was like, this is not gonna happen. And by the time I already had my second daughter, it was already too late. I had 2 children who I brought into the world, so it was basically on me to do everything else. But yeah, I would say that that's what it is. I just ignorantly chose to ignore all the rest.
Honestly, let's not even talk about age because there's females out here at 30, 40 years old making the same mistakes that somebody at our age was making. So age has nothing to do with it. It goes back to when you know better, you do better. Because I'm sure if you ask her now, would you put yourself in that situation again? It would be no, no, and hell no. Would you want that for your daughter? No, no, and hell no. So
would you consider him your first love, or you knew?
No, he was definitely my first love. And then again, being so, it's funny because I was explaining to Kayla yesterday. We were talking about being in love and all that, and I basically told her in a nutshell, when you're in love, you'll know because your day begins and ends with that person. Like something happens between you guys, it's the end of the world, and you know, like you get butterflies. So I mean, and again, I had an absent father too, so I think that stemmed when, you know, looking back, I think that stemmed to I was trying to fill a void in my life because I didn't have a male figure. Cliche, but that's basically what it came down to. So I was looking for a male to fill that void of like, oh, this person's giving me attention, this person's giving me love. And
did you feel safe?
I did. And honestly, at the time, before we were anything, he was like my best friend. So it was very easy. It was very comfortable. But I mean, looking back at it, it was very toxic and codependent. And we were kids and we just thought we knew better and we did not.
No, it's a learning process. That's all I was gonna say. You know, it's we live and we learn. You
Trust
know,
me, I know
we
better
live and we
now.
learn. Yeah.
So
Yes.
hearing like your like everything your mom went through, what have you learned from everything that your mom been through? Because I can imagine like a lot of us. I think the only one that had a dad. This is like a guy over here. Like, we're the only-
Lottery ticket.
all of us. Oh, well, and did you have any like? Did you feel like you had? I know Gonzalo was in your life at like
Gonzalo.
Gonzalo.
at 5, but like, did you ever feel like when he, even though he was president, you maybe had some dad issues or anything like that?
No, well, in the beginning, being so young, again, all I knew was my dad. So, of course, I missed him. And being in a new home, having a new um father figure around, it was definitely weird. And it was hard at first. I didn't like my stepdad at first. It was hard, but over the years, I created a bond with my stepdad, and
Beautiful. And like now, do you want a relationship with your dad? Like,
yes, I do.
If he was here right now, what would you tell your dad? What are some things you would tell him?
look straight into the camera,
Right?
like he's looking at you.
He's watching. It's
Well,
not an iPhone. It's an iDad.
well, mostly I think I just say, "Or
Remember, speak from the heart. Speak
Yeah.
from the heart. Speak
sorry."
from the heart.
Don't be sorry.
Yeah, don't be sorry. You can come back
I
to it.
don't. Sorry.
It's
No,
okay.
no worries.
It's okay.
No worries.
These are your feelings.
Yes.
This is your dad. And like I said, I didn't have a dad. My dad passed away at 3 years old, and there's so much that I wish that I can say to him. So right now, your dad is here. He's living. He's listening. Take this opportunity to say whatever it is that you need and want to say to him. Whether you get your point across to him or not, just get it out, because now it's out there for the universe to hear how Kayla feels and what she wants and needs from him. And regardless, you have Gonzalo, who's always going to be there for you. And he's not your replacement dad, but he is your dad.
Daddy, I don't hold anything against you. When we do take the time to create our bond, slow and steady, I know that you love me, and I love you. That's all.
Beautiful.
Where's the tissue at, my guy?
know.
Oh man.
Hey, and honestly, Kayla, like, man, like I can't even imagine how you must feel. When I was 16, my parents got divorced, and he left, and I could tell you that was probably the hardest thing I ever had to face. So I could totally understand your pain. I've tried to reach out, and he's never gotten back to me. And do you believe in God, or like, not to get all? Just know that, like, God's here to support you, and He's never gonna let you down, even though you might think He is. But if you have Him truly in your heart, you just know that that's also your Father as well. So, and
And
just
he's everywhere.
and just thank you,
Everything.
like thank you, like, believe it or not, like, shit like this is what people this is what this platforms is about.
Yes.
It's being able to express yourself, and this
Yeah.
platform, this is for you. Like, right now, this is all
Yeah.
you.
So how are you feeling right now?
Good.
You good? Are you glad that does it feel like a ton of bricks are off of your chest now? And do you feel like there's still more in there?
No, I feel good.
I feel like you were very short and sweet, but if and when that time comes, I know that you'll have a lot more to say in that moment. Right now, you just needed to let what you needed to say out. It's out there. I pray And I hope that he makes the changes that he needs to make, not for you and your sister, but for himself.
We'll manifest it.
Because unless you do it for yourself, it means nothing. So I pray for your dad that I'm seeing it, because your dad looking real thick. He looking real healthy these days. I've never seen him look that healthy. He looks very happy. I know that your dad's a believer. I know that your grandma's a believer. I will continue to pray for him. And I love the fact that your mom is very supportive of you and your relationship with your dad. And again, I just can't express enough, like, your mom is amazing. And I'm so glad that you are blessed with an amazing mom who's strong enough to support you, your sister, choose the right partner for her, and just allow you to come on this platform and share your story. Like, this is your testimony. You know, you are a walking testimony
Yes.
of your own story.
And the red carpet is always rolled out for you. If you ever want to come back and you want to express more, you got something to say, you're always welcome.
You have a new tia. You can call me Tia Mo.
All right.
And mom, for your past self, knowing what you know now, and even to individuals out there, women out there who want to start a family, who want to have kids, what type of characteristics as a partner? Because being a husband and being a father are two different things. You could be a great husband, be a terrible father. You could be a great father and be a terrible husband. So I know you have to find that equal balance.
Yes.
So it seems like Gonzaga
Gonzalo.
I love you, baby.
has been able to do that. So, like, just for young, like an audience in general who wants to start a family, what are the important characteristics to be aware of, and what should you avoid? What are the signs for you to avoid?
How many questions do you got, my
I
guy?
know. I would just say, firstly, kind of going back to one of your guys' episodes that you did, you got to love yourself first. So I think that that's first and foremost. And I think you have to find someone who appreciates your own self-esteem. You know what I mean? So if you hold yourself in high regard, it's important to find a partner who holds their self in high regard, because at the end of the day, you need a partner. You need someone who's going to be there through hard times, good times, financial problems, who didn't fold the freaking laundry and who didn't do the dishes. But at the end of the day, you need somebody who's going to come back and see, as cliche as it sounds, is that, you know what, it's not me and you against each other. It's me and you against the problem. And that's from the littlest thing to the biggest thing in the world. So I think it's important to find somebody who's going to be your ride or die, someone who's going to support you no matter what, even when they disagree with you, someone to put their pride aside and be like, you know what?
I'm sorry.
I'm there for you. I might not agree with you on everything, but if you need me in your corner, I'm there. Because I think that that's the foundation of any relationship, whether it's romantic, friendship, mother-daughter, father-son, even, if you have a relationship with God, that's the foundation that you need to have. So I think that that's really important.
Yeah, definitely. I believe holding ourselves accountable, and really being in a spot where we can say, I did this wrong. Now let me change it and let me fix it so that I can be better.
Exactly.
Before we head to the final thoughts, is there anything else that you're feeling, Kay, that you would like to say? Or
I got a nickname for you now. You got K.
Yeah, you got K.
Okay.
K.
Damn, you beat me. I was gonna use that.
No, I think I've said everything that I needed to say.
Awesome.
Okay, well, I'm kind of curious, like on a separate note, on the separate things aside, what are your goals now as a young woman now? You're going into high school. Do you have have an idea of what you want to be when you get older? Like, do you have somewhat of a a
Yeah.
vision?
I want to go to college and I want to become an author.
An author?
Yeah, I want to write my own books.
What kind of fiction, nonfiction?
Fiction, probably.
Okay.
Okay,
What got you into writing?
Well, school. We would do like a lot of writing assignments, and I loved writing and loved making up little stories. And then over the years, my teachers have complimented me on it, and then I knew that I loved it, and so I thought, why not pursue this?
What's like do you have a favorite story that you've written? And if you can you tell us what it's about? Or what's about?
I have to think. There's a lot.
Damn.
Man, right? You and my daughter would get along really great. She likes writing stories as well.
Do you feel that writing is a way of you expressing yourself?
Yes, definitely.
So do you write a lot of like love novels and stuff like that, or stories?
No, just like I let like my mind go free. So whenever I write, usually like in elementary school, they usually give us a topic. I remember one time I wrote about a snowman that came to life, kind of like Frosty, but we had to have a plot where he helped like the school. So
Oh my god, wasn't there like a Christmas movie about this? Yeah, there was you know which movie I'm talking about. It's a Christmas movie. It's about a dad dies, but his body goes into the snowman. Him and his Jack Frost. There you go. Did you steal that from Jack Frost?
no, I
Jack Frost. It doesn't snow in California, bro. In LA, no. In LA.
Oh, that's cool. Well, that's you know what, and I really pursue that dream. Are you afraid that Chat GPT is gonna beat you to it though?
a little bit.
Nah, you're better than AI for sure. Your imagination is gonna be amazing. I can't wait.
That's
to
one
read
thing
one of your books.
That's one
Thank
thing a Chat GPT can't take is a person's imagination.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And feelings and expressions and emotions.
Their goals, their drive.
So we'll start wrapping this up. We'll do our final thoughts. We'll go down the line. So
Go for it. I'll go last. Go ahead.
Okay. So the best for first. Oh, okay.
I would say ladies first. I mean,
all right. So Kayla, what would you say to like I said, a younger member that's going through this? Like, what would be your advice to them if they are kind of going through that emotional struggle of not having a parent, being your age, not wanting to talk to someone? I know like a lot of young people tend to not want to express, people in general don't want to express themselves, but what would you advise them, or what would you advise them?
I would say don't let this situation define you. Keep going. You got this, just keep going. Don't let it define you. Keep going. You will make it. If you try, put in the work, have your faith in God, and I think everything will be okay.
Those are words from
right?
a 15-year-old.
How old are you again?
Okay?
Wait a minute.
She's pumping me up over here.
Don't let it
For
define
real.
you, boo-boo.
Just step on my vocabulary.
Yeah.
For real.
I'm just like, all right, I'm 40. I'm about to go conquer the world right now, girl.
Any final thoughts, Mom?
I just want to tell Kayla that I love her very much, and I'm very proud to be your mommy. I love you.
Awesome.
Why you
Love
gotta
it.
say
I love the vibe. I love the love in here. It's amazing.
This is beautiful. Again, this is what this platform's about. This is a beautiful moment. These are things that when
Is this your final thought?
Nah, man. This is a beautiful.
Yes, it is. It really is.
That's all. I'm sorry, Mo.
I don't have words.
She's embracing the love
I'm a
right now. That's
crybaby
going
right
on.
now. I'm about to cry at everything that I'm about to say. So you know what?
Pass it down. My gym rack. You might want to use the top part, not the lower part. No, I'm
That's
just
good,
saying.
right?
You might get pink eye or brown eye, whichever.
I just want to commend Kayla for coming on here again at 15 years old. Nowhere was I thinking the way you were thinking. Nowhere was I able to express my feelings and thoughts the way that you are, which is why I got pregnant at such a young age, because I was trying to find myself. So the fact that you know who you are, you know where you want to go, and you have a destination at 15, it says a lot about you. And again, I can't stop praising you, Mom. It's because of you. You know, you are her role model. You are somebody that is, you know, placing the footprints in the sand, and she's walking along those footprints with you. You're setting the tone for her. And, you know, I just really hope that the generational cycle breaks today, and it breaks right now, where you, Kayla, don't have kids and your kids don't have to experience this. And even if they do, I know that you'll know how to handle it. But I know that that's not going to be your story.
Nice. MJ?
I already said my final thought.
I asked you and you said that wasn't just final thought. All right, mine. All right. Before this podcast, I was really thinking about you, Kayla. You know what I mean? Thinking about like, what's her story going to be like? What is she going to say? What is she like? What feelings am I going to feel? You know, what is she going to make me feel? And it's crazy because I watched the movie called Queen and Slim. Check it out. Great movie. And in one of the scenes, he looks at her and he tells her, if I have the chance, I would kiss all your scars. You know, and I took that as we all have scars. We've all been through traumatic events. And with that being said, like those scars are always going to be there. We can't go to the past and fix it. But what we can do is kiss the scar, and maybe that'll help the pain go away. You know, so we got to take advantage of every opportunity to fix our wrongs, right our wrongs. You know what I mean? And everybody that feels like, you know, this is an opportunity to right your wrongs, do it, take action. You got this. You are not alone. You're not the only one out there that needs to do this. So I would say take full advantage of this opportunity.
All right. I'm going to piggyback on what he just said, as far as like, take the opportunity. If we're here and we're living and we're breathing, and you have somebody who is open to your phone call, your text, and a relationship with you, take it, because that relationship, that opportunity is not guaranteed tomorrow. Today is the day for you to start taking every opportunity that comes your way. The only one that holds you back is you. So
today, get it done.
Today, not tomorrow, because we have an excuse as to, oh, I'm tired. Oh, but what if this? Oh, but what if that? But what if that person picks up the phone? What if that person says yes? What if that door opens? Let's stop thinking negative and let's start thinking positive, because I know right here, this situation, it's an invitation, and that invitation is in your hands.
Yes.
And you know who you are.
And you'll never know unless you take that first step.
And also too is just to forgive yourself.
Yes.
You know,
You have to.
forgive yourself
Yes.
for all the wrongdoings. We've all made mistakes. And I know forgiving yourself is very difficult, but at the same time, it's time for us to move on, close that chapter,
Keep pushing forward.
keep pushing forward, and be there for Kayla, for Bella, two beautiful girls that at this point in their life, they just want a father's love, and they deserve it. So that being said, is there anything else we want to get off our chest? Mom, you good? Kayla?
All right.
Mo to the Mo?
We appreciate you guys. Thank you once again for riding the wave with myself, Aid, and
MJ, Mo
Mo.
to the Mo, Kayla,
K. It's K.
Laurel.
It's Laurel.
But thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, please comment. We'll see you guys every Friday at 8 a.m. riding the wave. We'll see you guys next week. We love you.
Peace.
Peace.